What is up, guys? How we doing? How we doing? Welcome, new subscriber. I am glad you're here. Today we are going to do a movie review. I just watched Barbarian, and holy shit, dude. So this is gonna be a spoiler review, and this is one of those movies that when I tell you what it's about, that's kind of a spoiler in itself. This is a movie that is best to walk into blind like I did. The only thing I knew about this movie is that it's a girl that stays at an Airbnb. And this is one of those movies that your viewing experience is definitely going to be affected by how much you know of the movie beforehand. So with that being said, if you haven't seen the movie, and go see it, come back if you care about my opinion that much, or if you don't give a shit about spoilers and you've seen it already, great. But here is your warning, because the best way to experience this movie is without knowing anything about it. Because even the description of it is very vague. So, yeah, let's dive in. So it's about a girl that stays at an Airbnb, and I had basically just seen a horror movie reviewer review this and say it was crazy, so I wanted to check it out. And a girl stays at an Airbnb, and she gets there, and it turns out somebody is already there. And it's Bill Skarsgård. I didn't even know he was in this. I fucking love Bill Skarsgård. He is such a good actor. And she gets there, and apparently he booked on a different app, and they're trying to, like, awkwardly figure out what the hell to do, and she's very cautious. This woman is, like, very, very cautious of just her surroundings and people and whatnot. And, you know, like, when she gets in there, he makes her tea, and she doesn't drink it, and, like, she's just very cautious of him, and rightfully so. And the movie does a very good job at making you, like, think that Bill Skarsgård's character could be the villain here. And, you know, you're watching these two people, and you're wondering, like, is he the bad guy? Where is this going? What direction is it? And so they're there. They end up having a good night together, drinking wine and talking and whatnot. They don't fuck or anything, but, like, they go to bed in separate rooms, and weird shit starts happening. Like, her door gets opened despite her knowing she closed it, and Bill Skarsgård's character is sleeping on the couch, having night terrors and whatnot. And she goes to a job interview. That's why she's in town, and goes to this job interview, and then tells the interviewer that she has an Airbnb in this town. And the person that she's doing the interview for looks at her and is like, an Airbnb in that town? You need to get the fuck out of there. If somebody said that to me, say no more. I'm leaving. If a stranger tells me that, like, you need to get out of there, I'm leaving. So, like, they did a good job at portraying how cautious our main character is, but at the same time, it was like, she had to be dumb in certain moments, you know? But something ends up happening where she gets locked into the basement. She goes down to the basement to get toilet paper, and the door closes on its own, and she's locked down there. And while she's down there, she discovers a hidden hallway, and this hidden hallway leads to a room that has a video camera set up in the corner, pointing at a bed that clearly has blood on it, and a bucket. And God, that's horrifying. And anyways, Bill Skarsgård character gets home, and basically, you know, she gives him the key through the window and gets her out. And she explains everything to him that she found, and his reaction to this made me think he was the bad guy. Because she's like, hey, I found a room down there. There's a fucking camera and a bed, and some weird shit has happened here. If you told me that, my gut reaction would be, okay, let's get the fuck out of here. But Bill Skarsgård's character was like, it's a basement. Lots of weird stuff's in the basement. So it's like, okay, Bill. That doesn't throw you off. You're the bad guy. You're totally it, dude. So what's going to happen? And so he decides he's going to go check it. And she's like, whatever. You can go check it. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. And he said, can you please stay? That way, you know, like, if the door locks on me, I can get out. And you're in your mind, you're like, yeah, he's bad. What's going to happen is he's going to go down there, and then he's all of a sudden going to need her help, and then she's going to go down there, and he's going to trap her. And that's what I love about this movie, is it's like setting you up for something, and then just flips it on its fucking head. So, yeah, as you're expecting, Bill Skarsgård asks her to stay there in case whatever, and then they go down. He goes down and doesn't come back up. If I'm her, I'm leaving. I'm sorry, Bill. You're a sacrifice. I'm gone. Because either he's bad or he's not, and I'm leaving. Okay, so you gotta suspend a little bit of disbelief that her cautious and smart character at this point would go down there. But she goes down there and goes to the room that she found, and he's not there. And then notices that right at the end of the hallway actually opens up, and there's a secret door behind the hallway that leads to an underground fucking cave, dude. And, like, tunnel, basically. And, she shining the light, and she's screaming, you know, what was his name? I don't remember his name. Luke, I think. Luke? Was it Luke? It doesn't matter. She was screaming his name, and you could hear faint screaming from him. So, again, at this point, you're still like, he's just trying to lure you down there and trap you. And then all of a sudden, she's going down the tunnel with this light. All of a sudden, he pops up, and he's like, we need to go this way. It's gonna come back. It's gonna bite me. And she's like, no, this is the way out. And she was right. I don't know why Bill Skarsgård's character argues with her here about which direction is out, because, so they sit there arguing. He's like, no, we need to go this way, which is deeper into the tunnel. And she's like, no, this is the way out. And they sit there arguing, and, you know, we're in a dark tunnel, and then all of a sudden a creature comes out of nowhere, grabs Bill Skarsgård's head, and fucking pounds it against the wall until it's mashed potatoes. And then it shows the creature and shows, you know, them exchanging looks, and then cuts to a new character, which is played by Justin Long, and I love Justin Long. He does a great job in here playing the character that he does. But I want to pause on this moment for a second. The emotional gut punch of realizing, A, Bill Skarsgård was not the bad guy. That means he was actually just a really, really nice, innocent person. Because he's very charming, and like there's a part where he's opening wine. And he's like, hey, I noticed you didn't drink the tea. I totally get it. You don't want to accept a drink from a stranger. But I want to drink this wine. And I was worried if I didn't open it in front of you that you would think I did something to it. And so I'm going to open it here in front of you. And if you would like some, awesome. If not, whatever. And he was just very charming. Very, if he's bad, he's definitely doing a very good job. And, like I said, the movie just does a great job of making you think, that you know where this is going, and then... But the execution of all of a sudden this hideous creature comes out of this dark tunnel, grabs him, fucking kills him. That was a genuine good jump scare. That got me. It did. It got me. I do not jump very much at movies, okay? Blumhouse, you need to take some fucking notes, alright? Because that was a good jump scare. That was just a perfectly executed scene. You're seeing the creature for the first time, and it just comes out of a dark tunnel and then violently kills one of the main characters and flips what you thought was going to happen on its head. So then, like I said, we cut to Justin Long's character, who is an established actor in Hollywood, and he's driving, I believe, a Porsche, if I remember correctly. It doesn't matter. He's driving a car, and he's singing and whatnot, and he's playing this, like, douchey, arrogant Hollywood character, and he does a really good job. And Justin Long, dude, he's so underrated in horror movies. He's really good. I think of like Jeepers Creepers is one of the first horror movies I ever seen, and when I think Justin Long, that's what I think of as Jeepers Creepers. Anyway, so he's driving and he gets a call, basically, that a woman has reported that he raped her, and that basically the new season of the show that he stars in is either going to get canceled, or if it moves forward, it's going to be without him. And the movie does a good job at not answering right away if he's actually guilty of it or not, but then shows you throughout the movie that he definitely is, through his recollection of things and his behaviors throughout the end. He's definitely fucking guilty. So anyway, we start following him, right? So like I said, the creature revealed itself, killed Bill Skarsgård, turns to look at the main character, and then that's it. We don't know what happened to the main character. We're with Justin Long now. I will say, as much as I dig Justin Long's performance, I hate his character in here. I really do. I understand why his character exists, and I'll get there, but just right off the bat, I do not like his character or his whatever arc. There's no, okay, so he's basically trying to accept the fact that now he's getting kicked off this show, and he's getting blacklisted by Hollywood, and now he's having to sell some properties to stay afloat. One of these properties are the Airbnb at which fucking the main character was at. So he goes down there to sell it, I guess, to get all the square footage and details and list it and sell it. How this motherfucker had no idea he was living on top of tunnels is beyond me. He must have never been at the house very often. Rich people problems. And, yeah. I will say, I wish the movie didn't lean into comedy, because this is where it kind of tries to lean into comedy, is you got this douchebag character that's really full of himself, and he comes in and people are there, or he notices their belongings, and he's like, what the fuck? Do I have squatters in this house? And apparently he's rented it out as an Airbnb before, but according to his agent, it has not been rented out in months. So whoever set up this Airbnb shit was not him. And so he has no idea what the fuck is going on, why there's personal belongings there. But when he gets there, the chair has the basement door pried open because the main character did that so it wouldn't lock her in. And he hears something down there, and he grabs a little knife and a flashlight, and he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up, you bitch. And, like, it's like, now you've seen the horrors of what's going on, so this douchebag of a character saying, you know, I'm gonna fuck you up, bitch. Fuck you. Like, it's like, no, you're not, brother. You're gonna lose the fight, I promise. But they shouldn't have I don't think they should have went comedic. Because up to the point that you revealed the creature, we're at straight grounded horror right now. Like, this is developing to be a scary movie. And it still does. It's a successful horror movie. I just wish that Justin Long's character didn't exist and that they didn't lean into the comedy side of it. That, to me, would have been better spent going into the seriousness and scariness of the movie because it kind of made it go from being scary to being campy. And it's a hard line to walk. But if you're going to go with horror comedy, you need to do it the whole movie, not an hour into it start being funny. Because at no point up to this point was it even remotely funny. But Justin Long, his douchebag character is so douchey that it's... He literally goes down to the basement and finds the room. Like, he hears a thud, goes down there, finds the creepy-ass room with the camera and the bed, and he doesn't think anything other than, oh, extra square feet to make my house worth more when I sell it. Because of the execution of his character up to this point, I do genuinely believe this character would be that stupid, yes. But then he discovers the tunnel, and he just starts measuring it. I do not believe anybody would be this stupid, okay? I get his character is dumb, arrogant, whatever. Fine. He's ignoring the fact that he found a fucking camera in a blood-stained bed in a bucket. Fine. I'll believe it because of the sake of the character. But after you discover that tunnel, man, no. There ain't no fucking way that you don't think to yourself, wow, this is, something's fucked up. He even passes... So in the tunnel, we see it several times. There's 4 cages with, like, dog food bowls in them. And he even gets the tape measure and passes those cages and still doesn't stop to think, hey, something fucked up happened here. And, nope, he just keeps measuring it. Like, so you gotta suspend disbelief to believe that this character is really that stupid. And then suddenly he discovers the monster, and then he falls. And now we're back with the main character because she's down in this pit. And that's why his character exists, is to get, tie in with her and help. With the story, I think they should have came up with a different character. I get why they came out with this character, but they should have just... They shouldn't have gotten a stupid, funny character. They should have gotten somebody more interesting. And, anyway, so now we know the main girl is still alive. And as soon as we get to see that, now we cut back to what looks like the 50s. And we are starting to get lore, finally. And I actually do enjoy the way that it tells this story. So, now we go back to the 50s. When this town, this little neighborhood was a great neighborhood. Because now it's trash. The Airbnb they're at is literally the only put-together home in the neighborhood. Like, it is like the shittiest neighborhood ever. And, so... It goes back to the 50s when this was a well-thriving neighborhood, and we're following this creepy dude, and he goes to the grocery store, and he's buying waterproof sheets and other shit like that, gloves, cleaning products. Is this a real thing? In the 50s, did, like, women just shop for you? Did the clerk at the store just shop for men? Were we that stupid as men that we just needed women to shop for us? Because he goes to the supermarket, and the worker there just does all the shopping for him. Was that a thing in the 50s? Or was that just the movie being a movie? I'm genuinely curious. Back in the 50s, like, is that how grocery shopping worked? You just went in, and a woman did all the shopping for you? Because I believe it. I could believe that, yeah. But I'm genuinely wondering. Anyway, she does all the shopping for him, and as he's leaving, he starts creeping on a girl across the street. And then he follows her to her house, and changes clothes and says that knocks on her door and says that there was an outage or a power outage. He's from the power company trying to check the power, blah fucking blah. I'd be like, hey dude, my power's on, you're not coming in, but whatever. So he comes in, investigates the house, unlocks the window in the bathroom, and then leaves her. And then he goes back to the house, which is the Airbnb, where it's his house. And when he gets in the house and opens the basement, you hear screaming downstairs. And he said at the grocery store that it was an at-home birth going on, and you just hear screaming down the stairs, and now you know this guy plans on kidnapping this girl in the future. So that's basically all we're given context-wise up to this point is, okay, so 50 years ago, creepy serial killer had people down in the basement. Okay, interesting, and she gave birth. Interesting. I don't remember the actor's name that plays him, but you know him when you see him. He's really good at playing a creep because he looks creepy. No offense, brother, but you really do. And yeah, so now we cut to, finally, you know, because I really just wanted to follow the main character. But I do like the way that they, you know, told the story. So now we're back with the main character and Justin Long's character. And the creature shoves a milk bottle through so they're in the ground basically, and there's like a cage above them, and this creature, you know, gives a bottle of milk, I think, breast milk, I don't know, and wants them to be her baby. And Justin Long doesn't play along, but the main character does, and then the creature jumps down and drags Justin Long away, and then forces him to breastfeed on her, because this creature is naked, and, golly, dude, this creature is, fucking creepy looking. But at the movie, okay, so let's keep going. So, yeah. While that's happening, the main girl tries getting out. And she does. She gets out of the fucking house successfully. And earlier, I forgot to mention, she got told what a bad neighborhood it was, and she got back to the Airbnb before she discovered the tunnel, and a random fucking dude ran at her and was like, come here, girl, and like chased her to the house and said, get out of the house. And you just think, oh, okay, so it's a bad neighborhood, so just dude trying to jump her. Nope. Whenever she gets out of the house, he helps pull her out of the little broken window down in the basement, and is like, dude, she's like, we gotta go back in there, there's somebody in there, we need to save him. This pisses me off. Because, yes, she doesn't know that Justin Long's character is a piece of shit, okay? She doesn't know that. But at this point, it's like, come on, dude. Like, they made sure to make it a point that you were overly cautious, and now you're like, let's just go back in. And the guy that saved her is like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm not doing that. And she comes out at night, so you need to get the fuck out of here by nighttime. And so she goes to the grocery store and calls the police. And this part kind of pisses me off. The police don't listen to her because they just think she's a crackhead in a bad part of town. I don't believe the police would have been that dumb. Now, hear me out. Police have been dumb. You look at the Jeffrey Dahmer case, like, police have been notoriously dumb, okay? But just the way it's executed in this movie, like, was irritating, because they didn't even bother to look inside. They just instantly wrote her off as a crackhead. Maybe that's how it would have happened in real life. Whatever. But, so the police didn't fucking listen. And basically, Justin Long, I don't know how, yeah, okay, so the creature comes out of the window, and while she's outside, and she rams the creature with her car, which she thinks kills her. Then we cut to Justin Long's character, who is still exploring these tunnels, and he finds the dude that was alive 50 years ago that, was going to kidnap the girl. And he's laying in bed, and he's old as shit. He's like 207, and he's watching TV. And he finds him, and he thinks he's rescuing this guy. And he's like, dude, we're going to bring it all to the ground. Police are going to be swarming this bitch and everything. And there's a bunch of tapes, literally like hundreds of tapes. And Gas Station Redhead is in the VCR, and he puts it in. And that's what the filming was this guy sexually assaulting women and kidnapping them and torturing them for years and making them. This is so fucking dark, dude. Like, this movie is so dark. I wish I would have opened this video by saying that, because this story, this is why I don't like that they tried to have comedy moments, because this is a dark story. So we find out that, all these tapes are him raping women and shit and keeping them prisoner. That's what the dog cages are. And Justin Long's, I get it. The point is he's looking himself in the mirror, basically. He sees this tape of this girl getting raped, and he turns to him, and he's like, how could you? You piece of shit. How could you do this? But in Justin Long's, starts contemplating, like, I kind of did this too. Not to this scale, but I committed sexual assault too. And anyway, the, old man is asking Justin Long to bring something to the bed, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's asking for, so he just takes the whole cabinet and brings it over to him. The second I saw there was a drawer on that cabinet, I knew there was a gun in it. And sure enough, the old man pulls out a gun and blows his own brains out. And, so all we know up to this point is that, all right, so this guy for years, for decades, has been molesting women and kidnapping them and keeping them prisoner and murdering them or whatever. And it gets worse, baby. So that happens, and then Justin Long and the girl get out of the house. So Justin Long takes the gun from the guy. Up to this point, every time Justin Long's character has gotten scared, he's dropped something. He'll have a flashlight and a knife, and then he'll drop it because he gets scared. We're 0 for 3. Justin Long's character is 0 for 3 so far at dropping shit in moments where it counts. He gets the gun, and as the viewer, exactly what's about to happen. Girl's going into the tunnel to save him, and he fucking shoots her. It doesn't kill her, but I have a hard time believing that he shot her when every other time he got so scared he dropped the shit, and even does it again. But I'm supposed to believe he actually fucking held his own and shot the main character? Nah, fuck that. He would have dropped the gun and peed his pants. So, anyways, that was a frustrating moment. But I'm glad she didn't die. That's what I thought they were about to do, is kill her that way, and that would have pissed me off. But luckily they didn't. He just shot her, and so now they're leaving the house, but they don't know where the creature is because they thought she died on the car, and now she's not on the car anymore, and she likes to be out at night, and it's nighttime. So the girl says, hey, I know where we can go, because the guy earlier said, come over here if you want to get away from her. So they go to the black guy, and he gives us more exposition. Not a whole lot, but enough for us to piece everything together. So he says that the creature is this dude's daughter, and that what this guy did is he would kidnap women, rape them, impregnate them, make them have a baby, and then he would fucking do the same thing to the baby. And he did this for decades and decades and decades creating this inbred creature. And that's what this creature is. Which is sad as fuck for the creature. Now, like, because that means the creature is a victim, you know? And she's got this fetish with wanting to have a baby. So that part I'm not sure about. That part I'm not sure if she had a baby that he killed, or if that was just the last one and he never knocked her up. That, I'm confused on that part. But, so he would force a woman to have a baby, and then when that baby got of age, would rape that baby, or would rape that character, have another baby, then rape that one, then so this creature was like 50 years of this guy inbreeding, basically, and this creature was his daughter. That's dark, dude. That is fucking dark. That is dark and twisted and fucked. And here we are making jokes with Justin Long's character. I just don't like that. Take the humor out of this movie, because this is a dark movie. And so they're sitting by the bonfire talking about it, and Justin Long's talking about, like, man, I shot her, and we need to get her help because I did this and I fucked up, and I'm battling with if I'm a good person. I made a mistake, and he's referring to the rape, which tells you that yes, he definitely did rape a woman. And the reason why the existence of his character pisses me off is right after saying that and saying I want to be a better person, the girl asks him, so why are we safe right here? And he's like, shit, I've lived here for 15 years and that motherfucker. And the second he says that, the creature comes through the wall, rips off his fucking arm, and beats him to death with it. Poor guy. He was just helping. And, beats him to fucking death with his own arm. It's graphic. It's awesome. It's crazy. But that's what I mean by they leaned into humor, because that was supposed to be a joke. Shit, I've been here for 15 years and she's never came to this motherfucker. And then all of a sudden she breaks through the wall. No, that joke didn't land for me. Like, this isn't a funny story. And then Justin Long, right after saying, I want to be a better person, what does he do? Takes off running and leaves the woman that he just shot, basically to be on her own. And they start going up a water tower. And she's like, wait for me. And he's like, fucking keep up. And they get to the top of the water tower. And then he's like, okay, well, here, you want your baby? Come get it. And grabs the main character and throws her off the water tower. And the creature dives after her. And it's just like, so you think at this point the main character and the creature is dead. And I was about ready to give this movie a horrible review, because that would have been the most fucked up ending ever. The shitty rapist that exists for no reason other than to drive the plot forward and be a reason for the girl to get out of the house. She went back and saved. Now just basically fucking... He just got done saying he wanted to be a better person. So he had no arc in this movie, is what I'm saying. His existence in this movie served nothing but to help get this girl out. And I think you could have done that by introducing a better written character and taking the comedy out of it. That's where I think you could have improved on this movie. Anyway, turns out, I guess the Beast cushioned the fall because neither of them are dead. Justin Long gets down there and like checks on the girl, and she's still alive, and he's like, look, I had to, look, you kind of slipped out of my hand, like, I had to, like, instantly making excuses for why he basically just, tried to murder this girl. And well, the creature is not dead, even though she's missing half of her fucking skull, and grabs Justin Long, and she has, like, fingers that are, like, this long, okay? And gouges his fucking eyes out. and it looks so fucking like pus comes out and shit. It looks so real, and then rips his fucking head open. And they didn't give you the money shot, baby. It showed it from the back, his head getting ripped open. Because she grabs it, forces her thumbs into his fucking, eye sockets, and then rips his head like this, so it would have ripped his face in half. And it showed it from the back. And yeah, I wanted to see I wanted to see the money shot, baby. I wanted to see Justin Long's character get fucking killed. I saw the back of it. That would have been such a cool fucking, it was a brutal ass scene anyway, seeing his eyes get gouged out. Look, I'm not trying to come off as crazy right now, but I know if you're still here in the video, you know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to Carnage Candy, okay? I wanted to see this motherfucker's face get ripped in half, and it didn't show it, and that kind of irritated me, but we're at the very end of the movie. The budget must have been gone. Anyway, Justin Long is now dead. He existed for no reason, okay? That's why I'm saying if this would have cut to a different character that wasn't stupid funny, that had a better arc, or just, he literally only existed to get her out of the house. That brings it down a whole letter grade for me. Because the humor missed. I think this is too serious of a story. The character had no arc. He was extremely unlikable. And this woman goes back in there to save him, even though he's the biggest piece of shit. And he ends up sacrificing her and shooting her. And, fuck him. He just did nothing but bring the movie down for me. All right. Anyway, then we get the saddest scene of the movie to me, because now you realize that this creature, somehow the movie, and this is beautiful storytelling, the movie somehow managed to make you feel bad for this creature, because of course, that means this creature is a result of decades of inbreeding, and her own dad molested her and turned her into this fucking creature. And so, now you have some sympathy for this creature, and she looks at the main character as her baby since she played along, and she wants to take her back to the house, but she says, no, I'm not going back, and she grabs the gun and puts it to the creature's face. And the creature doesn't kill her. She doesn't react bad. She just sits here and says, mama, and, is, and saying bye-bye, and, you could just, see the pain in her eyes of just do it. Just put me out of my fucking misery. And she does. She shoots her, and that's it. That's the end of the movie. That's the main character survives, and God, man. You literally feel bad for the creature. It's amazing how they did that. Because, like I said, I was expecting when she grabbed the gun for there to be a fight scene. But no, she stuck it and put it on her face. So, the creature knew she was going to shoot and die, yet still didn't do anything. She wanted to die and was saying bye. And, so the movie somehow made you emotional over this murderous creature. But, alright, so I've explained the whole plot. I've talked for 40 minutes. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. Do what I said, take the humor out, give me a better character than Justin Long's character that actually has an arc or a bigger purpose than just getting the main character out of the house. I think this would be a 9 out of 10. I think this would be a slam dunk. That, like I said, that scene where Bill Skarsgård got killed and you see the creature for the first time and realize that there's and you're like, what the fuck is going on? That is such a well-executed scene, dude. I haven't had a movie give me the creeps like that in that moment in a minute. And it felt good. I'm one of those people that when I get scared from a movie, I, laugh. It doesn't, scare me. It's like an adrenaline rush. It's dude, holy shit, man. Holy crap. I'm one of those people when I get scared at a movie. I don't know what that says about me, but I grew up with Saw, so whatever. This gets an 8 out of 10. It was a very good movie. I think it's a movie worth. I don't think it's going to have a lot of rewatch value because it's just one of those movies that, like, you don't know what's going on. You don't understand what's going on until it develops, and not all the way until the last 15 minutes do you really grasp what this creature is and how it came to be. And so, after uncovering all those answers, I don't think it's going to have a lot of rewatchability knowing these answers. I think a lot of the suspense comes from not knowing what the fuck is going on. But I love that the movie manages to take your expectations and flip it on its fucking head, you know. Poor Bill Skarsgård was just a nice guy the whole time. Because I thought for sure, I'm like, yeah, he's not going to come back up, and then you're going to go down there, and then he's going to capture your ass, and then you're going to be in that cage eating out of the dog bowl. Don't go down there. I would have never went down there, so I would have ended the movie early, but it was a very good movie. A very nice surprise. And, yeah, go check it out if you haven't. If you haven't and you're still here, what are you doing? Why let me ruin something? So it's such a good movie. I mean, we live in a time where horror movies are extremely hit or miss. You got Blumhouse, which is kid horror movies. You got A24 over here coming out with like okay horror movies, artistic horror movies. This was crazy. This was a crazy dark movie. If I'm never going to give a movie a 10 out of 10. Don't ever expect it. No movie is perfect. The highest I'll go is 9.5. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10 because of the Justin Long's character, the waste of screen time, that he basically was literally just a waste of screen time. He existed for no reason than to further the plot. And he had no arc. He was super shitty and brought humor to the movie that I didn't think mixed well with the movie. So if you would have had it cut to a different character that existed for a more serious reason and had a more serious personality, and then somehow wrote him in to die, or her, I think this would have been a 9 out of 10 movie. But the humor to me was missed because, like, up to that point where Bill Skarsgård gets his head bashed in, and then all of a sudden the creature just turns to the girl, and you're just like, your jaw. I had many moments in this movie where my jaw was on the ground, and that was such a well executed scene, like, because you don't expect it coming. Like, even though he says, "Hey, there's a creature down here," you just don't expect it, and then all of a sudden, the scariest fucking looking thing ever just comes out of nowhere, and just, it's so violent. I don't want to set your expectations up too much as far as gore goes. There is well-executed gore and violence here, but it's not a very gory movie. Like, when it needs to be gory, it executes it well. The kills are well done. The violence is well done. When it needs to be gory, it doesn't shy away from showing it. But this movie does not have a high kill count, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not a gore fest. I want to see the monkey. That'll probably be my next review. The way I'm going to do reviews on this channel, I'm not going to just review movies I like. I'm either going to review horror movies that I'm interested in and liked or disliked, or movies that got enough buzz, like James Gunn's upcoming Superman, that got me curious enough to watch. So, no, not every movie review is going to be positive. In fact, if you go look at my movie reviews, most of them have been negative or in the middle. But I don't want to just review. I can tell by the commercials if I'm going to like a movie or not, okay? I don't want to just review. I don't want to watch a movie that I don't want to watch just to review it, okay? So if I'm going to do a movie review, it's going to be on something that I was interested enough in and either ended up not liking it or did. But this movie, again, I think could have been better, but I do think it was executed very well. and the story is insane and gross and makes you feel like you need to take a shower afterwards. So, yeah, Barbarian. Yeah, The Monkey is a movie that I'm definitely keeping my eyes out for. You got James Wan producing, you got the director of Longlegs directing it, and it's a Stephen King short. A great collection of minds, and from what I've heard so far, I've actually stayed away from spoilers on this. I haven't been this excited for a horror movie in a minute. The Monkey looks like it's going to be really fun. It looks like it's going to be really gory and really just fun. Like a fun horror movie. And then you got Final Destination Bloodlines coming out this year, and 28 years later. 28 weeks later is my favorite zombie movie. So definitely looking forward to those. Looking forward to Fantastic Four. Looking forward to Superman. I think DC is the future. Fight me on it. I guarantee you DC is going to be the future. Anyway, that's my movie review. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's best going into this not knowing what the fuck is going to happen. And, yeah, it was a crazy ride. I was not ready for the ride that it took me on. I also ate a THC gummy, so I was kind of stoned. And, dude, watching horror movies stoned make them so much more intense if you're like me whenever, because I only eat a 2.5 milligram one. I'm very sensitive to THC. And THC makes me anxious. So watching a horror movie, I get way more oh fuck, than I normally would. But so maybe that had something to do. No, I think it was just really well executed. Like I said, it took your expectations of thinking Bill Skarsgård's the bad guy, flipped it on its head, then kept going and just kept going. And very well done. Very well done. Bravo. And I heard the creator of Barbarian came out with a movie. It starts with a C. It just came out. Companionship. It's got, what's his fucking face from The Boys in it? Jack Quaid. And, yeah. So definitely, after seeing this, I will have my eyes out for anything this director is working on or the writers are going to work on in the future, because this was pretty fucking good. Thank you for watching, and I know that I don't do a lot of horror movie reviews, but I think the next one I'm going to do is Terrifier 3. It's available to rent, and go check out my Terrifier 1 and 2 review if you're curious, and I never plug my channel and say subscribe, but we're almost at 90, baby. And look, I didn't think I was going to hit 5. I talk about so many different things that I just did not expect this channel to grow. And I want to see it hit 100 so bad. So, if this made it to you and you're not familiar with the channel, this is a movie review. This is a whatever the fuck I want to talk about that day channel. And, yeah, Terrifier 1 and 2, go check that review out if you want. I'm going to watch the third one. The third one's going to be make or break for me, and from what I hear, I don't think I'm going to like it. On paper, I should. I literally wrote a paper in college about how movies are not gory enough and Blumhouse is ruining horror. On paper, I should love Terrifier. I just don't. The kills are great, sure, but they're way too long. When you keep somebody alive too long just to keep torturing them way past the point of what they would ever be able to handle, it takes me out of the kill. And I think Terrifier does that too much. Anyway, I'm going to check out the third one soon. Anyway, thank you for watching this now 50-minute long review. Love you. Bye.